if I say Mobb Deep is a top 5 hip hop group of all time, that shouldn't enrage you. Relax. I'm not trying to raise bait you. That's just my opinion. And you can say, you know what? There go HQ with his East Coast bias again. And that's okay. But anyway, that's not why I have you here. I have you here because I just finished my full deep dive of Mobb Deep's new project, Infinite. And at its best, it's a reminder of why you should have two MCs who understand the brand, who always have the same mission statement in mind about the group, right? Because without Prodigy here, Havoc still displays that. At its worst, often came off as a little oversimplified and has me asking questions about the third honorary member of the group. That would be the Alchemist. Let's get into it. Now, I know why you're here, right? You want the HQ theory. You want to know what I love, what I like, what I think is okay, what's making me go, why is this here? But before we do that, I got to say rest in peace to Prodigy, rest in peace to D'Angelo, rest in peace to the legends. But anyway, there you have it. Those are the records that I love. Those are records that I like, records that I think is okay, and records I'm asking why. I kind of want to do this differently today. Let's just go in order of all 15 tracks. Now, the first record, Against the World, for me is in a light category, and yeah, it embodies the soul of Mobb Deep, right? Now, I do want to say with the title, makes me think of Pac a little bit, and you know the history of Pac, and now both legends deceased. Me and my late brother actually used to laugh about when Pac said, Mobb Deep, no one of you ninjas got sickle cell or something? Now, I want to trauma dump y'all. My deceased brother had sickle cell, and this was something for whatever reason we found funny because he was like, all right, well, at least it's bringing awareness to the cause. But anyway, Against the World, I like this record. Now, a little bit of a thing that I do want to point out. I've always felt like Havoc had the clearer vocals out of Mobb Deep, whereas Prodigy kind of embodies the lyricism of that Queensbridge, Queens MC. And in this case, because I can tell Havoc obviously gets to record some new verses. He gets to go in and tweak certain things. We don't have Prodigy here. I can hear the differences. Maybe that's just, me as someone that listens to a lot of music. But anyway, Prodigy's lyricism doesn't feel like, whether it was from years ago, the ETC, doesn't feel like it's off here, right? Like, if Nas is like your Queens de la creme, right? The golden child. Right after him is people like Prodigy, who I believe other MCs from Queens looked up to, kind of like 50 Cent, and said, you know what? Yeah, I can do that. I may not be able to do what Nas does, but I can most certainly do that. But the record works for me, and I think it's a good record to start off the project, right? The next record on here is Gunfire. That's track number 2. It's on the wire for me. I'm going to go ahead and skip this record. I don't love this record. The hook feels a bit bland. And actually, it kind of leads me into my third point. Or I should say the third record, Easy Burr. Now, we're only 3 tracks in. 2 of them produced by Havoc. 1 of them produced by Alchemist. The Alchemist record I didn't love. Maybe I should have some patience. Alchemist produced 4 records on this project, but Havoc's record have been resonating a lot more with me now. This record here, a little more up-tempo pace, and obviously I like the fact that, because I like me a good hook, all right? The hook is a lot more detailed. Gives you the feeling eerily that Prodigy is here, right? When he's talking about his run and their run or longevity in hip-hop and how, it doesn't end. And I will say, though, easily Havoc's verse here is one of the better verses on this project, right? Now, let's go to track number 4, a record that I love on this project. This is Look At Me. It's got Mobb Deep and Clips combined together. Now, all that talk about top 3, top 5, top 10 rap groups. Listen, the veteran MCs of the year, the veteran MVPs of the year, most likely Pusha and his brother Malice are going to have something to say about where they land on that group, on that ranking. Now, the funny thing is, listen, hey, man, I don't know if, from your late 40s and your early 50s, you can keep ascending on a ladder, but it looks like the Clips want to keep doing that, right? Now, this is another Havoc produced beat, and it really does it for me. Like, I really like the hook here, and I will say something, right? Okay. On the third verse, Pusha does something here that's just like, okay, relax, right? Some people just know how to speak to your soul. Says, I'd rather rhyme with your spirit than these other ninjas, right? Imagine saying you'd rather rhyme with somebody that's 6 feet under than the current class of MCs. Because they basura, they got no honor code. But anyway, that was tough, right? Now, I do want to move on to the next record. And that would be the M, the O. Now, I don't really love the structure of this record. I saw the title and I thought, you know what? This is going to be a Mobb Deep anthem. But it's cool. Now, I did find Big Noise refreshing. It's kind of like how I felt when I heard the app live on Let God Sort 'Em Out. I like that you still keeping, the older folks that you collaborated with, you're still keeping them on the newer projects. Now, another record that moves on right after that is also on the okay part would be Down For You. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, this beat is a smoker. God damn, Havoc put his foot in this one. However, I don't, I don't love it. Like, I like it, but actually, I think I like this better. So they use the same beat, at least identical as beats, for this record, Down For You and Down For You Part 2. So this is the second to last track on the project, right? So this one's featuring her, but track 5 is featuring Georgia Smith. Now, I will say they both do a pretty good job on the record. Now, here's the kind of elephant in the room. And a lot of you guys are going to point out about Mobb Deep and love songs. That's not even what I'm talking about. It's kind of like Mobb Deep and Nas on love songs. Now, I like the callback with Nas when he started the verse. And, him referencing the first line that he had on It's Mine. Like, I think that's dope. That's dope, you know what I'm saying? The old heads are going to like that. But I'm glad I got a third Nas verse on here because that's not what I was trying to hear Nas on. Record's cool though, I get it, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a little more commercial appeal. And it actually feels like the Blood Money era, right? The up tempo, back when they were G Unit days and things like that, right? Now this record, Taj Mahal, one of the interns in the court, Sandy has said, you know what, HQ is a relic. He's like someone we can go to for historical references. Watch your mouth. I'm not that old. But, however, this is a point because I remember this is around when I first could start drinking. There was a building called Taj Mahal down at AC. Now, this song references the Queensbridge journey, down at AC, either to move that work. I don't know what they was talking about on there. But anyway, I thought about it. I'm like, oh, this is not one of the wonders of the world. This is Taj Mahal, one of Donald Trump's failed projects, you know what I'm saying? But it was a hangout spot for a lot of folks, you know what I'm saying? Going down to AC, going down to Gamble. But anyway, I like this record. Where did I put that, actually, now that I think about it? Okay, I'll put it in a like. Yeah, I figured. This record is cool for me, you know what I'm saying? The hook, though, sounds like a slowed down version of a mill on Do It Again. So I thought that was pretty interesting to me, right? Now we got the next record, Mr. Magic. Listen, if you think this record is a little cringe, that's fine. This is your quintessential Mobb Deep record. It's like me from up north. I liked it. I like the beat, the verses cadence. It's so Mobb Deep coded, right? Which is a little the simplicity of it. I get it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But I love it, right? Now, a record that I did say why, which is the next record after Score Points, it doesn't really do much for me. The only thing I will point out about that record is a part where Havoc had mentioned COVID, and I'm like, damn, what would it sound like if Prodigy, got into his bag rapping about what went through, what had happened with COVID, but obviously Prodigy wasn't here for that. So there is that, right? Now, I just know this was intentional, right? That sequencing of My Era to Pour the Henny and Clear Black Nights, right? So we get the My Era, the nostalgia feel, right? Here we go. We're shouting out the folks that we worked with My Era, and I'm saying the J's, the Big, Nas, Big L, ETC, things like that, right? And again, I'm not going to lie to you. This is another record that made me feel like I think I prefer Havoc to produce this. But anyway, then we go to Pour the Henny, right? And while I do have this record on like, I'm considering moving it to love. But the reason I really like this record, the interpolation of the Jay-Z where if I should die, don't cry, you know what I'm saying? I did a song with Mary J. Blige. I think Game also references that on a documentary. But that joint is high-key emotional. And this is the Nas that I want to hear. This is the Nas I want to hear. I might move this record up, but I think there was some stuff in the first verse that I really didn't love the structure of that. But I really like this record, right? But to close out, the record after that, Clear Black Nights, which I put on like. Shout out to the Wu, shout out to Raekwon, shout out to Ghostface. Ghostface was a standout for me. A record that I didn't get a chance to get to that I love was Discontinued. I just want to say, if you hear that first verse of Prodigy, that should probably make you think of G Herbo. You know what I'm saying? Now you see where stuff like that is coming from. Last record, Real Thin, I asked why. Kind of feels